chapter 19, verse 21. Vayomer Elav, and the angel replied to Lot. Now we're talking about one angel now. He said, Hine nasati panecha gam ladavar hazeh. I'm also listening to you about this. Vilti hafchiyat ha'ir asher divarta. Because the angel told Lot, run to the mountain. And Lot says, I want to run to the city instead of the mountain. The cities are not spiritual places. I think our friend Leon Kaz talks about this in his book. The cities are not the great places in the ancient world, not great places today. People don't like the social conservatives are not the biggest fans of the cities. Is that accurate? Like the cities are not like their voter base. So Lot was told to run to the mountain, and Lot says, I don't want to go to the mountain. There's a city that's very small. It's very small. I'll go there. Can you let this city not be destroyed? And the angel says to Lot, yes, I'll do this for you. I'm not going to destroy this city. Rashi says, is it not enough? Not enough that you're being saved. I'll save the whole city on your account. Meaning, because of Lot, he's saving the whole city. And I'm not going to overturn it. Mahari Malait Shama, verse 22. Quickly run there. I can't do anything until you come there. Therefore, the city was called Soar. Rashi says, this is the punishment of the angels. The angels said, we are about to destroy. And they attributed the matters to themselves. Therefore, they couldn't move from there until they were forced to say that their matter is not in their authority. Where else do we see an angel being punished? I don't remember any other place where you see the angels themselves being punished. Usually they can't deviate from their mission, but here they spoke in the wrong manner. Jerry, yes.
Yes. The which town did the angel say he would not destroy, or were
Soar, the city of Soar.
Well, but his mission was to destroy the city of Sodom.
Yeah, Sodom and the suburb cities around it. There was a whole series of cities there, but they saved this one city.
So really, Lot was really did not understand the significance. Well, if he runs away in the future pasuk, they run away, and it seems it's a long distance away from the city of Sodom, and his wife turns around and she turns into
That's the next pasuk, but it wasn't that far. It wasn't that far.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is the text indicates that this was not a suburb, but but he's running away a long distance away from the city of Sodom. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I agree with that conclusion. I think the point is the cities versus the mountains. It doesn't say how far away it is, and in fact, it seems like it's pretty close because you could see. And it said that in the morning, the next pasuk is going to say that. Well, let's see what the text says here. Then we'll come back to that. If we have time, come back to that question. But I'm not sure I agree with your conclusion, Jerry. Even though I respect you very, very, very much, I'm not sure that it's far away. Okay. It seems like it was close. Let's see what the Rashi says. First of all, the next Rashi says, Ki lo uchal. He says, I'm not able to do anything. This is in the singular. Mikana talomed sha'achad ofech, achad matzil. That angel was destroying Sodom and one was saving it. Two angels will not be sent for the same matter. Hashemesh yatzal aretz v'lot batzoara. You see, that's what I was saying. The sun came up, so it means that they got there just from the sunrise till the sun coming up. So it just took them a couple hours to get there. Like the sun is in somewhere in the middle of the day. And they came to this place. So maybe, who knows how long, but it doesn't tell us here how long, but it's not a full day, that's for sure. So
and the city of Gomorrah is a nearby city,
yeah, well, we're gonna see that in the next pasuk. We'll see that in the next pasuk. Okay, the next pasuk tells us Vashem himtir al Sodom val Amora gafris va'esh me'es Hashem min hashamayim. And God rained down upon Sodom. Hey, Ezra. God rained down upon Sodom and Gomorrah gafris va'esh, sulfur and fire. Me'es Hashem, from Hashem min hashamayim, from the heavens. Rashi tells us, Hashem imtir. What does this mean? We're chapter 19, verse 24, Ezra. We got a chumash here. So Hashem rained down at dawn. I don't know what page. You could ask Daniel or Ben. So that started at dawn. Rashi says, Imtir al stom balos shachar. So Rashi says he did it specifically at dawn. Why specifically at dawn? Because that's when the moon is in the sky along with the sun. Because there were people in Sodom who worshiped the sun, and there were people who worshiped the moon. So Hashem said, if I'll take it from them during the day, then, by the way, do you think people want the Entenmann's donuts? Do you think people want Entenmann's donuts? I'll get it afterwards if people want. I put them away. They were going stale, so I froze them. I forgot to bring them out. Anyway, and the soup was tossed out yesterday, and we didn't make a new soup yet. Sorry about that. So he said, if the people worship the moon and people worship the sun. So he said, if I destroy during the day, then the people then if I destroy during the day, the moon worshippers would say, well, the moon would have protected us if it happened at night. If I destroyed it at night, then the sun worshippers would say, I would have protected you. Therefore, it says, shachar. That's what it says, around moon, around the dawn rising. Shachama v'alavana moshlam, but the sun and the moon are ruling at that time. Okay, so he brought down Himtir, Gafrit Va'esh. So basically, the Sodom started to be destroyed at dawn, and they arrived in Soara when the sun was rising. So it's the same day. Himtir, Gafrit Va'esh. At first it was rain, and then it became sulfur and fire. Me'et Hashem. Okay, that we'll skip that Rashi. Min Hashemayim, from the heavens. That's what the verse says. When Hashem comes to rebuke the people, he brings fire from the heavens, just like he did to Sodom. And when he brings man down, he also brings it from the heavens. Verse 25. And he, in the singular, again, Rashi had pointed out that one angel did it. So he overturned these cities. And Rashi tells us here that the 4 cities that were destroyed are Ba'atan Yoshvot. He destroyed 4 of the cities on one sheet of rock. And he turned them over from top to bottom. With a flint. So the 5th city was Soar, and that was saved. Sorry, we don't have the new soup up yet, but it should be ready by either later tonight or tomorrow.
I put a fresh packet of lox in the fridge.
Oh, thank you. Yasha Koach. Wow. People are going to be very excited about that. Very excited about the fresh packet of lox. Okay. So Sodom is destroyed, and the 4 of the cities of Sodom were destroyed, and the 5th one was not destroyed. That was Lot saved that. Matabeit ishto me'acharav. And his wife turned around, Vatihinitziv melach. And Rashi translates it was that she became a pillar of salt. I should just point out that many commentaries say that that's not the proper way to translate it. That really the proper way to actually translated was not that she became a pillar of salt, but that there was a pillar of salt, that Sodom became a pillar of salt. Wondering how does Rabbi Steinsaltz translate it?
Yet,
what? I'm sorry, Jerry?
yet in the next few Pesukim, it mentions just Lot and his two daughters. It does not mention his wife.
That's why that's why the Midrash and Rashi are embracing this Gemara that says that she was punished with salt, and that says that, and that's why she was punished, because she disappears from the text. Because where was she in the next scene when Lot's daughters were seducing her? But the literal reading of this text is that not that she became a pillar of salt, but that there was a pillar of salt. Look at Rashi. She sinned with salt, and she was punished with salt. Amarla, Lord had said to her, give a little bit of salt to these guests. And she said to him, you're trying to bring this bad custom of giving salt to guests in this place. You stop it. Don't give them salt. The rabbis are very suspicious of women in hospitality. They say, well, that's one of the theories why it says in Pirkei Avot, the very beginning, it says, Al tarbes sicha emanashim, don't speak to women, because right before that it says let your house be open to guests, that poor people be in your house, and don't speak with women. So the rabbi, one of the classic explanations is because the women are less likely to be hospitable, probably because they're the ones who feel like their space is being invaded by their husband's friends.
What about the famous, Rachel getting the water for Yitzchak?
Obviously, there are many, many women who are hospitable, but what I was saying is that they're suspicious of women who are not hospitable, and here Lot's wife is not hospitable.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You're saying that she was not hospitable?
Yeah, she was telling Lot not to give salt, and that's how she sinned, and that's why she was punished.
So the way Steinsaltz translated is, she became a pillar of salt, but he said this could be meant literally or metaphorically, that she froze in place and died.
Yeah. And does he have a footnote for that? No footnote at the bottom?
Nope.
He's the footnote. Rabbi Steinsaltz is the footnote. Okay, Vayashkef al Pnei Sodom v'Amorah. And obviously, but that's like one of the myths or the midrashim that became part of the canon of Jewish education. One time when I was, let's say, in second grade or third grade, I went on a trip to Israel. I was driving by the Dead Sea. In those days, there weren't the hotels there. And the tour guide said, see right there, that's the pillar of Lot. That's so. They even have a sign, Lot's wife. Yeah, they really do have that sign there, actually. Never forget it. And he gazed down upon Sodom and Gomorrah, and on all the surface of the land of the plain. And behold, he saw upon it the smoke of the earth like the smoke of a lime pit. The whole place was filled with fire. You have the place, Moshe? Yeah. 1928. Yes, Jerry, you're trying to say something?
Yes. How far distance did Abraham dwell compared with Sodom and Gomorrah, where
Abraham was in the plains of Mamre, which is Hebron. So it's pretty close to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay. So he heard the news quickly. Okay.
So Avram rose early in the morning, and he looked down and he saw the whole place was filled with smoke. Rashi says, Kivshan, Chafira, dugout pitch, Sarfim Ba'avanim, let's say they burn the stones for lime. And when God was destroying the cities of the plains, Vayiskorol Elokim es Avraham, God remembered Abraham, Vayishalachas Lot mitoch hafecha. He saved Lot. He took him out of the upheaval, and he saved Lot. He remembered Abraham and he saved Lot. Rashi says, what does it mean he remembered Abraham? What does Abraham have to do with this? So what was the merit of Lot? Anybody remember what the merit of Lot was? Why did he save Lot? What did Lot do? He kept his mouth shut. Remember that Abraham passed off his wife Sarah as his sister Sarah, his wife as his sister. He heard Abraham say she's my sister, and he didn't reveal the matter. So therefore, God, he had mercy on Abraham, and so therefore God had compassion on him.
Yet,
complicit in that gadol.
Yeah, Nachmanides calls that a great sin.
Right, isn't it?
But
Yeah,
but he protected Abraham. He was loyal. He got saved for loyalty. Yeah, Jerry, you had a question?
yeah, but it's true that Sarah was his sister through a common parent.
Yeah, that was a debate that was last week's parasha, but anyway, we're not debating now the merits of Abraham's claim, but the point was Lot kept his mouth shut and he didn't say Abraham was married to Sarah because then they would have killed Abraham. So he protected Abraham. So yes, Mordechai.
And Steinsalt's note not in plain standard English says, in addition to the destruction wreaked by the earthquake, the entire plain was burnt. So he's asserting that there was an earthquake.
Well, that's what happened. The whole city of Sodom there was an upheaval. It overturned all these cities. I guess that's an earthquake. Verse 30. And Jerusalem is built on a fault. So I've been in an earthquake in Jerusalem. I mean, everybody went crazy, but it was very small. But there have been big earthquakes there. I think even in Washington, D.C., I've been here with earthquakes. I mean, they're pretty small, but you feel them. They're not like California, thank God. And Lot went up from Zoar, and he dwelt in the mountain. So Lot had enough of Zoar, so he went to the mountain. He had his two daughters with him, and he was afraid to stay in Zoar. And he stayed in the cave, he with his two daughters. Rashi says it was close to Sodom. Well, the Mizrahi says that Lot was afraid that it would be damaged by the tremors. Alternatively, he was worried that it would suffer the same fate as Sodom because it was so close to Sodom. So what happens next? The elder daughter says to the younger daughter, Avinu Zakein, they said, our father is old, and there's no man in the land to come to us like the rest of the land. Meaning say, our father is old, how are we going to save children? How are we going to produce the world? You would think that they could go get somebody from Zoar. They just saw people in Zoar.
Right.
It's strange. So why do they have to mention that he's old? Because they said, they said, if not now, when? We got to seize the moment. He's old. He could die in any second. We have to, or he'll lose his ability to have children. We need to seize the moment. There's no other man here. They thought the whole world was destroyed like the generation of the flood. legitimate concern.
Why do you think that was a reasonable conclusion then to draw?
Well, let's say they learned in their history books about the generation of the flood. And so they knew that the world was destroyed in the past. They saw Sodom destroyed. They didn't have the internet. They thought their whole world was destroyed. It's just us. Also, okay, granted, obviously, relations between a father and a daughter are prohibited, but it's not like there weren't other prohibited relationships that were being practiced at that time. So, for example, the Torah prohibits a man from marrying two sisters, but Jacob married two sisters. Also, Abraham married, he said Sarah was his sister. She is my sister. That's what he said. And also when the world was created, they had to marry their sisters. So, well, in retrospect, we view it as obviously severe sin. Maybe at the time it wasn't viewed as such a sin.
So I guess they,
Yeah,
the world would go on with that. I mean, that they weren't gonna be destroyed, everybody else was gonna be destroyed,
they were the only ones. Yeah, they're like Noah.
Huh?
They thought they're like Noah.
but they weren't worried that they would,
Why didn't they look for Abraham? Yeah, Jerry, you had a question?
A comment. One explanation of why they didn't have to go to Zohar, what they were trying to do is perpetuate the family name through the father, and there is no Jews to continue the family name, and that's why they had.
No, but they could have gone to Abraham. Abraham would perpetuate the family name.
Yes, you're right.
They could have gone to Abraham. Okay, so look what happened. They said, let's give our father wine to drink. He said, let's give our father wine and we'll sleep with him. And then, Nechama, you have a question?
Where'd they get the wine?
They had wine. I don't know, Nechama, I see your hand.
Thank you. Parallels. We were just talking about Noah and some of that, and with the daughters and their father getting drunk, and with Noah, he was drunk, and the whole act of the sons were endeavoring to cover, but the women were. Is there any connection or parallel or comments on the?
No, you're exactly right. It's a very, very, very good point that the relationship between this story and the flood story seems like it's a repetition. God destroyed the whole world by the flood, except for one man and his family on the ark. And here, God is destroying their whole world. Their whole world. All right, let's stop here. Let's daven mincha at this time. Okay.